Have you ever found yourself sitting in silence, wondering how to stay truly happy as you grow older? Maybe in your 70s or 80s? It's not something people usually say out loud, but inside, many seniors carry this quiet question every day. As the years unfold, life naturally changes. People move away, some loved ones pass on, relationships shift, and slowly, the world you once knew becomes quieter. One morning, you wake up and notice there's space, time, and calm, but not always companionship. But here's a powerful truth. Being alone doesn't have to mean being unhappy. In fact, many older adults discover a kind of peace and strength in solitude they never imagined possible. In this video, we're going to walk through 5 gentle but life-changing guides to help you find real happiness, even if you live by yourself or don't have close social ties. These aren't just surface-level tips to pass the time. They are meaningful tools that can restore comfort, bring back clarity, and even add a little light to your days. Each of these 5 guides is built on emotional understanding, psychological insight, and real-life examples. So you not only learn what helps, but also why it matters. Whether you're newly alone or have been walking this path for some time, there's something here that might just reshape how you feel about this chapter of life. Stay with me until the end, because the final ideas may not only uplift your heart, but also completely transform how you view solitude moving forward. Guide 1. A meaningful daily routine. One of the simplest yet strongest ways to feel happy while living alone is by creating a daily rhythm that brings structure, peace, and a gentle sense of purpose. In earlier stages of life, the world often gave your days shape: ways, children, schedules, responsibilities. But later on, especially in solitude, the mornings can feel wide open. No one's waiting, no one's expecting anything. And while freedom sounds nice, too much unshaped time can quietly drain your spirit. Now, having a routine doesn't mean you need a packed schedule. It means waking up with a soft direction, knowing where your feet will take you next. Maybe you start your day with a warm drink and 5 quiet minutes by a sunny window. Maybe after lunch, you always go for a slow walk. Or in the evenings, you stretch gently before dinner. These small habits form a pattern, and in that pattern, there is peace. Just like music needs rhythm, your life feels more steady when there's a natural flow, even if you're the only one dancing to it. The goal isn't constant productivity, quite the opposite. Some of the most healing routines include stillness, a midday nap, reading a book, tending to your garden. You're not just passing the time, you're honoring it. And there's a quiet power in choosing your own structure. It gives you back control. You're reminding yourself, this is still my life. I still guide it. That inner message builds both confidence and peace. Let me share a story. There's a man named George, 76 years old, who starts each morning by writing 3 things: 1 task, 1 treat, and 1 thought. His task might be something simple like tidying the living room. His treat could be listening to jazz while sipping tea. And his thought? Sometimes it's a favorite quote, other times just a feeling. This small ritual gives shape to his day and meaning to his evening. Living alone doesn't just risk boredom. It can quietly suggest your days no longer matter, but they do. And a daily rhythm, no matter how small, is one of the strongest ways to remind yourself of that. You don't need an audience to feel alive, just an intention. Guide 2. Emotional self-reliance. One of the most powerful emotional skills to develop in later life is learning how to be your own anchor. When you're not surrounded by close friends or family each day, silence can sometimes feel heavy. Maybe it's the quiet when you return home, or the moment you want to share a laugh, a thought, even a frustration, but no one's there to hear it. These are the moments where emotional self-reliance becomes essential. Now, this doesn't mean pretending you never need anyone. It means knowing how to comfort yourself when others aren't around. It's about sitting with your feelings, whether they're joyful, uncertain, or tender, and offering yourself the same grace you'd give a friend. Many people never learned this growing up. You were likely told to push through, stay strong, keep moving. But this stage of life calls for a softer strength, listening inward, responding with compassion. Start with your inner voice. How do you speak to yourself when you forget something or feel low? Emotional self-reliance begins by softening that voice. Try telling yourself, I did my best today, or it's okay to feel this way. Even I'm here, I've got me. It might feel unusual at first, but over time, this kindness becomes your emotional backbone. Think about it. In younger years, you might have turned to a spouse, sibling, or best friend, but if they're no longer near or no longer here, you can still be that presence for yourself. You can meet your own emotional needs with steady hands. Let me introduce you to a woman named Ruth. Each evening, she writes in a small journal she calls her evening check-in. Sometimes it's a paragraph, sometimes just 1 line. I felt a little lonely at lunch, but I'm glad I made soup and ate at the table. No one else sees it, but she says it helps her feel noticed. And when you're alone feeling noticed, even by yourself, can be a deep source of strength. Another way to build this kind of emotional anchor is through breath and stillness. When emotions rise, sadness, fear, frustration, pause. Breathe slowly. Remind your body, we're okay. Give your mind a moment to respond, not just react. And most importantly, let go of any shame around loneliness. Feeling lonely doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. Emotional self-reliance doesn't demand perfection. It invites you to sit with your feelings, then gently guide yourself back to peace. Here's the beautiful truth. When you meet your own emotional needs, you're no longer at the mercy of outside sources. You still enjoy connection when it comes, but your inner peace doesn't depend on it anymore. That's not loneliness, that's resilience. Happiness doesn't always come from deep conversations or frequent visits. Sometimes it's born from simple, quiet exchanges, small, passing moments that gently remind you that you're still a part of something bigger than yourself. When you live alone, especially in your later years, it's easy to feel invisible. You walk into the grocery store and no one looks up. You sit quietly on a park bench and no one stops to say hello. The world moves and you're there, but somehow apart. But here's a truth worth remembering. Being seen, it doesn't always require someone to know your whole story. Sometimes it only takes a glance, a nod, a kind smile from across the sidewalk. These small gestures, they reawaken something inside. They say, you're here and so am I. So start small. When you go for a walk, meet the eyes of the people you pass. Offer a gentle smile. Say good morning. Maybe they won't stop to chat. Maybe you'll never see them again. But that brief connection matters because it reminds you and them that you still exist in the same beautiful world. There's power in quiet connection. Take Dennis, a 79-year-old man who leaves handwritten notes in library books. Nothing big, just a few heartfelt words. This story made me laugh. Hope it brings you a smile too. Not alone, keep going. He'll never know who finds them, but he says it makes him feel part of a bigger chain. A quiet network of human hearts passing encouragement back and forth. It's a reminder, even unseen contributions matter. Volunteering, no matter how small, can be another powerful source of connection. Some older adults read books to children over the phone. Others knit blankets for hospitals or write cards for people in hospice. You don't have to be outgoing or loud. Just showing up in whatever form you can brings you back into relationship with life itself. And don't forget, technology, when used gently, can also create connection. You may not feel like jumping into social media, but maybe there's an online forum or video comment section where people your age are sharing stories. Even reading those thoughts, even quietly responding, creates a sense of belonging. Or maybe you like to send birthday cards to neighbors, or leave a kind review for a bakery you visited. These things may seem small, but they ripple outward. And in return, you begin to feel the world noticing you again, not with loud applause, but with quiet warmth. The key is this: instead of turning inward and closing yourself off, you're extending outward, softly, consistently. You're saying, I may be alone, but I'm not disconnected. And life so often responds. Think about the last time a stranger did something kind for you. Maybe they held the door, or helped carry your bag, or simply offered a kind word in passing. Do you remember how that felt? You can be that moment for someone else. And in doing so, you strengthen your own sense of connection. There's also a unique kind of peace that comes from simply being in shared spaces. You don't have to talk. Just sit at a cafe, walk slowly through a museum, spend time in a quiet garden. These places remind your spirit that you're not on the sidelines. You're still in the world, softly, calmly, beautifully. And here's a gentle truth. The world needs people like you. People who notice, people who smile, people who appreciate life's quiet details without needing anything in return. Your steadiness, your presence, your quiet strength, it adds something valuable to the fabric of this world. So even if you're sitting in your home, all by yourself, know this: your existence echoes. Every kind act, every thoughtful glance, every smile you give, without expectation, weaves a thread of connection that reaches far beyond what you can see. You don't need to wait for someone to start the wave. You are the wave, one quiet ripple at a time. If you've made it this far and this message is resonating with you, type Guide 4 in the comments so I know you're here. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. Your support helps us create more videos like this, meant to inform, inspire, and remind you of your worth. Number 7, intergenerational living communities. There's a quiet revolution reshaping how older adults are choosing to live. And it's not about quiet hallways and closed doors. It's about connection. More and more seniors are moving into intergenerational communities, neighborhoods where people of all ages live, grow, and support one another. These aren't sterile facilities. They're vibrant places filled with real relationships and natural interactions. In these neighborhoods, you might have a young teacher next door, a college student across the hall, or a single parent helping in the community garden. These people don't just live near you, they share life with you. They carry your groceries. They ask how your day was. They sit on the porch and swap stories. And in return, you offer your wisdom, your grounding presence, and your lived experience. This is not charity. It's a mutual exchange of value and care. Take Margaret, 76. She moved into one of these communities where local high school students live nearby in dorm-style housing. Every Thursday, she leads a poetry circle. In return, the students help her with technology, fix small things around the house, and even introduce her to music she never expected to enjoy. Margaret says she hasn't felt this alive in decades. These neighborhoods often include shared gardens, walking trails, libraries, and gathering spaces. Nothing is forced, but everything is designed to foster connection, naturally. And it's not just emotionally rewarding, it's mentally protective. Studies show seniors in intergenerational communities experience slower cognitive decline and less loneliness. Meanwhile, the younger residents gain empathy, respect, and a stronger sense of community. This kind of living isn't about pulling away from the world. It's about stepping back into it with purpose. If you've ever felt like you still have more to give, but didn't know where to place that energy, intergenerational living may be your answer. Because connection in later life isn't a luxury, it's a form of healing. And sometimes the best medicine is laughter across a shared dinner table. Final thoughts. Growing older doesn't mean giving up your independence or your identity. For many, the idea of ending up in a nursing home brings a quiet, unspoken fear. The routine, the silence, the sense of being forgotten instead of seen. But this video proves that you have options. From in-home care and smart home upgrades, to co-housing with friends, living near your adult children, joining purpose-driven senior communities, or participating in intergenerational living, aging well doesn't look one way anymore. The common thread across all of these choices: control, dignity, and human connection. You've lived too much life to hand over the steering wheel without asking the right questions. So ask yourself, which option speaks to your heart? Which one makes your shoulders relax a little just thinking about it? Because the goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better. Thank you for spending this time with us. We truly value you. Drop a comment below and let us know one insight you're taking away from today's video and how it might shape your next chapter. We read every comment and your voice matters. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need this message. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Think about the last time you learned something and said, I didn't know that. That little flicker, that's your spirit coming alive again. In the stillness of your home, you have a choice. Let your mind shrink or let it stretch. One leads to peace, the other to stagnation. The difference often begins with a single small choice. Pick up the book, watch the program, try the recipe, ask the question. Whether it's a puzzle on your table, a memory you decide to write, or a map you hang on the wall, keep your mind curious, not with pressure, but with gentle interest. That curiosity won't just keep you company, it will give your life color, shape, and purpose, even in your quietest moments. Because happiness doesn't come from endless noise. It comes from paying attention, from learning, from discovering that, yes, even now, new things are still waiting for you, and they just might change how you see the world, or how you see yourself. Final thoughts. As we close this video, take a quiet moment to reflect. Which guide spoke to your heart? Was it the idea of building a peaceful routine, of smiling at strangers, of learning something new? Whatever it was, hold on to it. Being alone in your 70s or 80s may sometimes feel like being on the outside looking in. But this season of life carries its own kind of beauty, a softer, wiser, quieter kind. You are not less because you're alone. You are not forgotten because fewer people call. In fact, you might be more in tune with yourself now than ever before, and that is a rare kind of strength. So wherever you are, at the kitchen sink, in your cozy chair, or lying in bed with the screen glowing softly, know this: happiness is still yours to build. It doesn't require a crowd, just a little courage and a little curiosity. And remember, you are not truly alone. This community, right here in the comments, is full of people like you. People learning how to live well, even in solitude. So please leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today. Your words might touch someone else's heart, and they give us the strength to keep creating. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support truly makes a difference. Thanks for spending this time with us. We'll see you in the next video.